And what's been kind of interesting, I'll be stat man here for just a second here. You've probably heard this one, that 10,000 baby boomers turn 65 every day. That doesn't mean that they're going to retire at 65, but they're getting close, or they're actually retired. Now, that means that there's a lot of baby boomers out there that have been planning for retirement, and they're in retirement. And what do they need? We talk about it all the time. They need a paycheck. They have Social Security, and they want to know what else there is. For the 16th quarter in a row, 4 years, folks, 16th quarter in a row, people are setting records in the sale of annuities. And I know that that brings up eyebrows and wide eyes and go, I've heard bad things. But there are thousands of people out there, record numbers of people that are saying, I want income in retirement. And I think that this annuity is solving that problem. So what is it that is attractive about this? Why are they setting records for annuities? And what's the up and the down of it, Jay?
Yeah, it's a great topic because the annuity space is much more attractive than it's been in a long time. And it's due to the interest rates being higher. But okay. I want to circle back before we go into that, Randy, about something that you mentioned. And you said, well, you know, you kind of hear that and you get eyebrows that raise. Well, there's a good reason for that, right? Okay. Annuities are often misunderstood by the people that are buying them. That's where the problem comes, right? And of course, if you get into something and you thought it was going to do A, and then it turns out that it does B, you're pretty upset. And you say, annuities are terrible, right? You know what people really love? They love their Social Security.
Yeah.
If you're fortunate enough to have a pension at an employer where you worked at, they love pensions. You know what they are? Those are annuities, right? Those are annuities. And so when you say that, it's like, well, I kind of like them. Like, why are annuities bad? Annuities are bad because some of them are bad. Okay. And some of the people that sell them instead of recommending them when in the right solution cause that bad experience for people. It's ironic you bring this up because I think it was yesterday. It was yesterday or the day before. I had a client in here and they said, hey, you know, I went to this financial event thing with one of my friends and they just wanted me to go because they didn't want to be by themselves. And she said, I thought it was going to be, you know, kind of like financial planning, how to plan out your retirement, stuff like that. And she's like, it wasn't. Like, this guy, all he talked about was an annuity. The whole seminar was basically an annuity sales pitch, which, I mean, first problem with that. If you've got 20, 30 people in the room for a seminar that you've just met, you don't know if that's appropriate for everybody that's in there. Likely it's not. Maybe there's a couple, but likely it's not the best solution for everybody, first of all. And secondly, she said, well, you know, it sounded really, really good because if I put in, you know, whatever the amount is I put in, I get a 40% bonus right away on my money. You know where this is going.
Yep.
And I said to her, okay, and this is too complicated for radio like this, you know, Randy, but we'll keep it at a high level. I said to her, that's not real money, right? That 40% is not real money. And I said, and you know, I talk about it in my book too, Wall Street's Game. I was like, just look at something kind of analytically and be like, does this seem right? If it doesn't, and your gut's making you think that, there's probably something up, right? What's happening is these products are being presented to people as you're going to get a 40% bonus if you put. I mean, what a deal! You put $100,000 in, and instantly you've got $140,000. You know what? I would do it if that was really how it worked. I would do it. Believe me, I would do it. Okay. Right. This is the problem. That is not going into your cash account. It's going into something they call an income base or an income benefit. And it's really just an internal number that the insurance company is using to calculate a monthly payment that they'll give you. Now, if you are purchasing that product because you are saying, I want to have a guaranteed stream of income for the rest of my life, right? I've got my Social Security coming in. I've got my pension. That's awesome. That's guaranteed. And I'd like to top it up a little bit more and not have to rely on that being generated from the stock market, right? Fine. Maybe that's a really good idea. Maybe that's an option. The problem comes is that people look at that and that's not what they understand. They understand that, oh, I'm putting 100 grand in. I'm going to instantly have 140,000 in my cash value. That money doesn't exist. And it's important to speak with somebody, whether it's us or somebody else. We'd love to speak with people, but if they don't speak with us, I really want them to speak with somebody else who's a certified financial planner. So they've got a fiduciary duty, a legal responsibility to their client. And it should be somebody who is not an employee or an agent of an insurance company, because there's a bit of a conflict there, I feel, right? They need to talk to them and understand, what is my cash value? What is my income base? 10 years from now, 7 years from now, if I want to get out of this, what does it look like? Annuities aren't, I mean, I say they're not overly complicated, but I'm in the space. So, I mean, that's not probably a fair statement. There's things going on there that you really need to know about and understand. And I've got to tell you, if you don't dive into it deeply and you get with somebody who is independent to a degree of the whole situation, you're probably going to be unhappy with it.
Interesting. So one of the things, as I mentioned, there's so many people that are moving to this area, and it is solving one of the problems for them in retirement, which is income. You say, we have a Social Security check. Maybe I have a pension check. That might not all be enough. I need more income. So this is a way for you to take maybe your 401k money and put it into a place that is going to give you some guaranteed money. And it's different from a mutual. It's not an investment. We should say that. Is an annuity is not an investment. It's a contract with an insurance company. And there is a difference. You know, in the investment world, you have mutual funds and stocks and bonds and things like that. You put money in there. They go up. They go down. You sell them. You get your money. An annuity is something completely different. And you could buy additional things, riders and things like that, to make sure that they pay you your entire life. There's a lot of different. It's like a pizza. You can just keep adding stuff on, right?
Yeah, exactly right. And it's not that they're bad. It's that they've got to be used for the right purpose. That's the thing. And look, I mean, the easiest analogy is if you're in the market for, you got some disposable income, you're in the market for a new car, and it's a pleasure vehicle, right? It's not really going to be and you're like, I want something that it goes real fast, and beautiful days out there when I'm driving, I can put the top down and I can put my sunglasses on and enjoy it. If somebody recommends an F-350 to you, you're probably not going to be too happy with that recommendation. You were looking for a Corvette, you were looking for a Porsche or whatever it is, right? You want something fast and fun and you can just enjoy. And instead, you've been recommended a work truck. Now, it's very obvious when you're buying a vehicle because you can look at it, you can see it, you can see what you're getting, right? When it comes to the investment world or the annuity space, as we've been talking, it's not that obvious, right? You really need to do that deep dive and to understand it. And, you know, if you've been listening to the last, whatever we've been talking, 6, 7, 8 minutes of this, you might think, like, I'm an annuity hater, I'm against it. It's not. We do plenty of them in the office. You know, we do manage money, we do annuities for people. It's just, it's got to be the right thing that's making, it has a place in the plan, and that the person understands it. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, I think about going down into my basement. I got a workshop down there, and I got a pegboard, and I got all my power tools that are hanging on the pegboard, and I've got a jigsaw, and I've got a circular saw, and I've got a battery operated thing. I've got a couple of different kinds of drills, and it's the tool that I use for the right purpose. You know, whatever that job is that I've got to do, I need the right tool. And I think if we say it that way and say, hey, if there's 10 ways to develop income in retirement, let's explore all 10. If an annuity is one of them, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, but at least let's explore it. I think that's probably a good way to look at it.
Explore it and understand it.
Okay.
The people that really understand the annuity they get into, they love it. They're like, this is exactly what I thought it would do. And it's helping me have guaranteed income. It's helping me sleep at night, right? The people, this is in an annuity, most annuities that you're going to do, you need to basically decide, I'm going down this path and I'm not going to change my mind on it, right? Like I want this guaranteed income, or I want whatever it might be, right? I've had clients of ours that we've discussed potential income annuities with, And the reason it's the discussion now is that the payouts are so much higher. And that's really why we're having this discussion, right? The reason those sales numbers are so high that you've said is that, interest rates are the highest they've been in, 12 years, 15 years,
At
something
least,
like that,
yeah.
right? And that
Yeah.
all affects the payouts.
Sure.
So if you're going to have the conversation, now is probably the time to be having the conversation. And we'll talk about it with one of our existing clients. And I had a couple of them that were like, yeah, I'm not sure if this is for me or not. Well, you know what? The interest rates are high right now, so I'll just go and do it. And if I change my mind in a couple of years, I stopped the conversation right there. I was like, no. Like, this is not for you if that's the way you want to approach it, right? And I'm not trying to keep something from them that they want, but I also don't want them to be hurt down the road because you mentioned it, they're contracts, right? They're insurance contracts. They're supposed to be long-term sorts of things. You don't jump into it haphazardly. And, I probably sound more passionate about this than a lot of the other stuff that we discuss, but I see it happen at least once a month. We have somebody who brings in an annuity that they were sold, 12 months ago, 3, 4, 5 years ago. And they say, hey, I was supposed to get a 20% bonus on this. And I see these different numbers here on the contract. And obviously you're hoping you get the big number, right?
Yeah.
And I say to them, I was like, yeah, that number doesn't really exist. That's like an internal metric the insurance company uses. I'm sorry to tell you, this smaller number, if you want to cash this out, that's what you're going to get.
Interesting.
And it happens over and over again. We've talked about it enough, I guess. It's just that's why I'm very passionate about it, is because I see people put into these things in the wrong situation.